What's good, football gamers? It's your boy Fen checking in with another College Football 25 YouTube video, and in this one, I got two bangers, not long enough for their own things, wrapped up into one for you. To start, although I've talked about it a few times by now, I haven't actually shown it in any videos yet, so I'm going to walk you through specifically how you could know for sure you're landing a perfect pitch on just one green checkmark interest revealed, and theoretically as little as 0. The question then becomes, and we're going to cover this second, whether or not you should hard sell based on your school's grades, or just keep sending the house for max influence gain. It turns out there's an answer to that question, and our guy Max Plays CFB has it covered. He's into a lot of the same big brain experimental type of college football stuff that we are here on the channel, and I'm going to play a clip directly from him with the best answer I've seen a little bit later. All his stuff will be linked in the description below, but I wanted to make sure to stop, hype him up, and say thank you for letting us reference his work here. With all that to get to, there's no time to yap, so let's get right to it. Check. Okay, all right, already. I'm checking in with the congregation. So glad to see y'all back. This is a pretty specific point, so we can skip right to it, and I'll get you right back out there recruiting. The first example will be old news to a lot of you OGs, so just bear with me, but the second probably won't be, so just give me a minute. In case a few of y'all are not deducing your hard sells early just yet, it can look a little something like this. So here we go, Brendan Biggs. We've identified 2 of his green checks, but not the third. As you know, we can just hop in here and start scrolling around, see what matches it could be. It has to be both of the greens, and the third one would have to be a question mark here. Aspirational has life. I've pre-cooked this example, so I do know that's it. But as you scroll around, you see that there's no other matches. At least one red X will be included in any other one that matches any of our greens. So we know for a fact on 2 green checks, this is the perfect pitch, and I know this is old news to many of you. So your odds are decent to find a match when you have 2 green checks revealed, but you could do the same with just 1 if you have a little extra information in the form of their deal breaker. And this is the part I said I've talked about before, but didn't show and tell the thing, so this is what I mean. Here goes Junior Singer. We've only identified 1 of his green check interests, but he does have a deal breaker. We can use L1 to scroll over to see it. Now, bottom right, his deal breaker, which we know to be one of his interests, deal breakers always will be, is Coach Prestige. So now when we scroll back, we take a look at Coach Prestige, and we have not identified that as an interest, but we have. So now we just go through the exact same process. Hard sell, we're going to keep an eye on Coach Prestige. That needs to be involved in it. That's a no, it's got a red X. That's a probable because it's got the green. We know the Coach Prestige is also a green, and it leaves the question mark. We'll scroll around. Red X. And I've obviously also pre-cooked this example just to show y'all this doesn't happen very often, as you can probably imagine, but with deal breaker that's not one of the interests you've revealed, plus just 1 green check that you have revealed, go shopping again for hard sells, and you could get to this mad early. Theoretically, if you're late in the board and you haven't gotten lucky with any green check interests at all, you could do the same thing with the deal breaker to just know 1, because then you know you're gonna have to have a perfect pitch that lands on 3 question marks, including that deal breaker, so you could, in theory, even wind up doing this with not a single green check revealed and know you got it perfect. So you can get to the best mechanic in the game a little bit early, but when should you use it and when shouldn't you? What grades would be better off hard selling on, and which are actually gonna hurt your chances? In looking for the answer to that question, I came across the real star of today's video, my man Max Plays CFB. He gives significantly more details on his research in the full video, but I'm gonna play a clip here where he gives us a number scale and a very simple over or under question to answer as to whether or not you should hard sell on your grades or just keep sending the house. This clip is directly from his video on the same subject matter. Big thanks to Max for letting us reference his hard work. Take it away, brother.
Probably thinking, wait a second, I thought those 3 motivations were letter grades, not numbers. And they are. But all I did was convert them from letter grades to numbers, and it became crystal clear what to do. Since you can have an A+, an A, and an A-, that's 3 different options for the A grade, right? Well, it's the same thing for the letters B, C, and D, so that's 3 options each. And then all that I ever saw was F. I never saw an F+ or an F-. In other words, there are 13 possible options, and it's pretty clear what's better than what. So to convert them to points, super simple. An A+ is 13 points, an F is 1 point, and you just work your way on up, and that's all there is. So like a C+ would be 7 points, a C would be 6 points, and you get the picture. From there, if you just add up those 3 scores based off how your school does for their ideal pitch, that's when you get back to that graph I showed you. And if this is getting a little abstract, let me make it totally clear. That red line right there is 19 points. Let's say you go to pitch pitcher recruit, and their ideal pitch, you have grades of A, F, and F. Well, if you do the math, you get 12 points for the A, you get 1 point for the F, and you get another point for the F. And since 14 points doesn't get to that 19-point threshold, giving them some sort of hard or soft sell is actually the wrong thing to do. But imagine if the grades on those 3 areas were better, like an A, a B minus, and a D. Well, from there, you could add 12 points, plus 8 points, plus 3 points, and all of a sudden you're past the threshold, and selling them is the right move.
So there is the answer, and if it was news to you like it was to me, make sure to show Max some love for all the work he put in to get us the good info. What's cool is you could simplify it even further by kind of just keeping C in your mind as average. 3 C's equals that 19, and that's about a push with the hard sell. So with that rule of thumb in mind, you could look at things right on their face to know whether a yes or a no, and then use his numerical calculation to get a little bit sweatier in those closer calls. One more thanks to Max Plays CFB for all the work he's putting in. He's been Max, I've been Fen, y'all have been great, and we'll catch you next video. Peace!